Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband Brandon Blackstock has been laid to rest in a place that family members and close friends describe as deeply meaningful and profoundly special, marking the end of a chapter that was filled with both public attention and private heartbreak. The story of his final resting place has become one of reflection not only for those who knew him personally but also for fans who followed his marriage, his career, and the intense divorce proceedings that brought his name into headlines over the past several years. According to sources close to the Blackstock family, the burial was carried out in an intimate ceremony that brought together only the closest circle of relatives and trusted friends. The family reportedly chose a resting place that held memories tied to Brandon's upbringing, the ranch lifestyle he embraced, and the quiet connection he had to nature away from the spotlight. While Clarkson has remained silent publicly about the burial arrangements, insiders say that she allowed space for her children to grieve the passing of their father in a way that was both respectful and gentle, ensuring they felt surrounded by love during the difficult moment. For fans of the Grammy-winning singer, this news comes as both shocking and heartbreaking, as the strained relationship between Clarkson and Blackstock had long dominated tabloid coverage, yet his passing underscores the fragile humanity behind the headlines. The chosen resting place, described by family members as serene and surrounded by open land, has symbolic meaning given Blackstock's affinity for wide spaces, ranches, and a quieter lifestyle than the glitz of Hollywood. He had always maintained a complicated relationship with the entertainment industry, working as a manager while struggling at times with the pressures that came with being tied to Clarkson's fame. Friends recall that while he was never fully comfortable in the limelight, he found his truest sense of peace when away from cameras, often retreating to ranch life where horses, cattle, and country living were his daily rhythm. For that reason, the decision to lay him to rest in such a setting was seen as a gesture of honoring who he was at his core, separate from the conflicts and controversies that shaped the later chapters of his life. The ceremony itself, according to those present, was understated yet profoundly emotional. A small gathering, mostly made up of relatives and lifelong companions, stood together as memories of Blackstock's life were shared. His father, Narvel Blackstock, who was once famously married to country legend Reba McEntire, reportedly played a key role in ensuring the arrangements reflected Brandon's wishes. The site chosen was said to overlook a stretch of countryside with a view that changes beautifully through the seasons, a symbol of the cycles of life and the passage of time. Those who were present noted that despite the grief, there was also a quiet sense of gratitude that Brandon could finally rest in peace in a place that carried personal meaning. For Clarkson, the news of her ex-husband's burial adds another chapter to what has already been one of the most publicized celebrity divorces in recent years. The couple, who married in 2013, finalized the divorce in 2022 after a long and contentious legal battle that included disputes over finances, custody of their children, and ownership of properties. The divorce settlement revealed deep fractures in their relationship, with Clarkson ultimately winning primary custody of their two children while also agreeing to significant financial support to Blackstock. The proceedings painted a picture of bitterness and mistrust that shocked many fans, who once viewed their marriage as a fairy tale union between pop superstar and country manager. Yet behind the headlines, those close to the family now say that Clarkson's priority has always been the well-being of her children, and in the wake of Blackstock's passing, she is said to be focused entirely on supporting them through grief. Public reaction to the news has been layered with shock, sadness, and reflection. Social media quickly filled with condolences and messages of support for Clarkson, her children, and the extended Blackstock family. Fans who followed their love story from the early days of their marriage expressed disbelief that his life has come to such an end, with many commenting on the tragic reality that their children will grow up with the absence of their father. Others pointed out the significance of how life has shifted so dramatically for Clarkson, who has balanced the demands of a television career, a Vegas residency, and her duties as a mother, all while dealing with the ripple effects of divorce and now loss. The choice of a special place for his burial has sparked conversations among fans about the importance of honoring personal identity even in death. Brandon Blackstock was often painted in the media in one-dimensional terms, as Clarkson's husband, then as her ex, and later as the man embroiled in financial disputes with her. Yet his burial arrangements highlight a more human perspective, a man who valued family ties, who leaned on the traditions of country living, and who found grounding in a lifestyle that went beyond the glare of fame. Those who knew him personally remember him as a father who cherished his children, a man who carried both strengths and flaws, and someone who was trying to navigate a life that at times felt overwhelming when lived under public scrutiny. In Nashville and beyond, the news has triggered waves of discussion about the complex intersections of celebrity, family, and mortality. Clarkson, who has built a reputation for her authenticity and emotional honesty both in her music and public appearances, has yet to issue a formal statement. Insiders suggest she may choose to grieve privately, avoiding turning her ex-husband's death into another tabloid story. However, fans expect that she may eventually address the loss, perhaps in the heartfelt way that only she can, whether through her talk show or her music. Her songs have long served as windows into her personal experiences, and many wonder if this chapter of grief and reflection may eventually inspire new creative expression. The children remain at the center of all discussions about the future. Family friends have emphasized that Clarkson and the Blackstock family are united in their commitment to shielding the children from unnecessary media attention during this time. Reports suggest that they were included in the private ceremony in a way that was gentle, with family members ensuring they had the support they needed to process their loss. Experts on child psychology note that losing a parent at a young age is a profound and life-altering experience, one that requires stability, reassurance, and compassion. For Clarkson, this moment underscores her responsibility as the anchor in her children's lives, a role she has embraced wholeheartedly even amid personal turmoil. Looking back on the arc of Brandon Blackstock's life, one can trace a narrative that combines privilege, opportunity, challenge, and controversy. Born into a family already connected to the music industry, his path seemed naturally intertwined with entertainment. His father's marriage to Reba McEntire brought him into close proximity with country music royalty, while his own career managing artists reflected both his interest and his inheritance of family ties to the industry. Yet the complexities of living in those circles eventually contributed to both his successes and struggles. His relationship with Clarkson brought him international recognition, but it also placed him in a spotlight he sometimes resisted. When their marriage unraveled, the legal and financial disputes overshadowed other dimensions of his identity, making it easy for the public to forget that he was also a father, a son, and an individual with dreams and struggles. Now, with his burial complete, the narrative turns toward legacy. For his children, his presence will live on in memories, stories, and the values instilled in him during his life. For Clarkson, this chapter may serve as a reminder of the complicated yet enduring connections that marriage and family create, even after separation and hardship. For fans, the story of his final resting place becomes a lesson in empathy, urging the public to see beyond the drama of celebrity divorces and recognize the shared human experiences of love, loss, and remembrance. The final image of Brandon Blackstock, laid to rest in a place of beauty and serenity, offers a kind of closure that had long been absent from the tumultuous years of his life in the headlines. It is a reminder that in the end, the noise of public scrutiny fades, leaving behind the quieter truths of who we are and where we belong. As time moves forward, those closest to him will hold onto the image of his resting place as both a sanctuary and a tribute, a reflection of the man he was away from the spotlight, and a legacy for his children to carry with them as they grow. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our Talent Spotlight Adult YouTube channel for more update news.